Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Humanitarians of Africa series. If this is your first time joining us, the Humanitarians of Africa series is where we have been sharing the stories of amazing founders from Africa. Today, I have a founder from Nigeria who works in a special sector. Beauty, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today to share your story with us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, so let's get straight into today's discussion. So who is Beauty? Could you please introduce yourself to everyone listening to us today?
Okay, my name is Beauty Kumesine, and I'm the Executive Director of Blazing Heart Autism Center and Azbekum Foundation in Nigeria. I'm a graduate of Special Educational Needs and Disability from the University of Huddersfield, and I'm an autism tutor in the United Kingdom.
Wonderful. So it looks like you work a lot with people on the spectrum. That's what they're called, yeah.
Yeah, I work with people. Generally, I work with individuals with special needs, special educational needs and disability.
Wonderful, wonderful. So tell us about your organization and why autism. Why did you, I think I can begin to say why, but I want you to say why. Why exactly did you decide to focus on people with special needs, especially autism?
Okay, my focus for individuals with autism has just been drawn from the love I have for humanity, the love I have for children. So my forte is early years. So I just see myself always as wanting to help children, children in their early years to be able to communicate, to be able to thrive and live their lives as much as they can. That's just what has drawn me to the special needs space and drawn me to working with children with autism.
Wonderful. Okay, so tell us about Blazing Heart Autism Center. What do you guys do there? What's the vision, the programs, and everything you think we need to know about that?
Okay, I'll just give you a brief rundown of Blazing Heart Autism Center. Okay. Blazing Heart Autism Center is a non-for-profit organization that was born out of love, basically. Love from me translated love from me that has transcended down to other people and opened up their hearts to love and accept individuals with autism and their families. So what we do at Blazing Heart Autism Center basically is advocacy. So we advocate for inclusion of individuals with autism, and we advocate that they start early to be included in the society instead of waiting till when things have quote unquote gone really bad and the society has, pushed them out. So we advocate for early intervention. We advocate for early inclusion in mainstream in everything that they do. And we do that often 2-3 times in the year. We have, activities that are basically centered on advocacy. And then we have daily interventions that go on like literally every day, Monday to Friday. We walk around the clock. We don't stop because, we're not working with machines. We're not working with furnitures. We're working with human lives. So we have to give our best on a daily basis to the children that we work with. We have interventions. We have general supervisions, we have capacity building, so we train and retrain our staff as much as we can possibly get, as much as we can, afford financially. We also volunteer with other organizations within our states and outside the states. So basically, our attention is more on the children and the community where we find ourselves.
Wonderful. So before we even go so deeper, there are some people that do not understand what autism is. I think I would say I understand a little because I've had experiences with some people living with autism. But can you throw some light on what autism is and what it means to live with that disability? I think it's just a learning disability, basically.
I think basically it's a condition, and every person has what they live with.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to. I want to try and demystify my mind so that I can demystify other people's minds about the word disability or disorder. It's a condition that affects and impairs a person's ability to communicate, interact, and socialize, basically. Yeah. So there are some basic signs that you would see from a child with autism. The child probably started talking and stopped talking at a particular time. The child flaps or spins around, or
screams,
closes their ears, lines up toys. Basically, when a parent sees those things, those attributes, things that you would not expect a child to do, even if, yes, we know that children play, and most times they play to the extreme. Once as a parent, you have to be sensitive enough to know when this child, oh, this is not play, this is more than play. At that point, you try and see a pediatrician, try and talk to somebody, that will guide you better. Yeah, but basically it's autism impairs their ability to communicate, to socialize, and to interact.
Okay. All right, great. So let's talk about the work that you do now with people living with autism. So in Nigeria and Africa generally, we run away from such topics: autism, dyslexia, the other ones, the other sort of conditions that are there. But then these things are very, very important to get accustomed to, so that we can help people that are involved or living with this condition. So how exactly does your organization sort of get to engage with people in the community, talk with them about this condition, and help them understand that the children are not witches, because that's how some people see them, or the children are not mad, because that's how some other people see them? How are you able to break it down and connect with these people to help them understand?
Okay, that would take me back to what I said with the work Blazing Hearts Autism Center does as community advocacy. It's very difficult to break through the minds of people. It's very difficult to see someone, or it's very difficult for someone to unlearn what they have learned as an adult.
Yes.
It's very difficult for them to unlearn what they have learned and relearn a new pattern. So in the past, you would have observed that people in the community would say, oh, this person went to get their child from the river goddess, or went to do something to get their child. Yeah, and it always points down to the mom. It always points down to the mom, most times not the dad, not the father. So they would say, this person has gone to somewhere to get, this woman has gone to somewhere to get a child, and that's the reason why the child is behaving like, quote and unquote, in our local palace or Banji.
Yeah.
So where we come in as an advocacy group is, we try as much as possible to as much as possible, we try to talk to the people in our community, because there's a word that says charity begins at home. From our streets, from where we are, that area, we try to talk to people. Oh, what do you do? Oh, I do this. I work with this set of children, this set of individuals. And then we expect that those people that we have spoken to try to demystify what is in their minds. We hope that they are able to talk to the next person, and the other person talks to the next person. So, but we try to create a chain of communication, but it's very difficult. It's very, very difficult. Most times we have to be on the streets, in the rain, in the sun, evangelizing for individuals with autism, and it's not been easy. It's not been easy. Like I said, demystifying the minds of adults that have, or helping them unlearn what they have learned as adults is totally different from when you're trying to help a child without autism to unlearn what they have learned. It's totally different, because as an adult, you have, learned over the years. And we've met with people that, even when we try to talk to them, at the end of the day, they say, oh, I mean, there's nothing that can be done about these children. They are, I don't want to hear about them. They are from the bush, or they are from the river. There's nothing good that can come out of these children. Most times, these words are being said by the parents. Yes, most times these words are being said by the parents. So as much as possible, we try to create avenues for community engagement, community involvement, and community advocacy as much as we can afford.
You're right. Sometimes the parents give up on their children. And they forget that every child is a gift from God.
From God, exactly.
No matter how the situation may be. So you just mentioned one challenge that you face, having to communicate with the people. Are there other challenges that you face as an organization in the course of the work that you do?
Basically, I would say from time to time, we face the issue of staffing. So you see that we have in some cases, we put up adverts to get, new staff, because we have more children, and what we do is basically one-to-one with the children, one therapist to one child, so that the therapist gives their attention undivided to that particular child, and helps the child to thrive in what we have identified as their gifts. But when we put out adverts, you see that people come in and they come in to say, oh, I can do this, I can do that. Our job as Blazing Heart Autism Center goes beyond teaching, but you see, oh, I can teach, I can help this child, and you give them an opportunity, and in the next 1-2 weeks, they are sending in their letter to say, oh, I can't do this. It's too much. It's not what I bargained for. Or you give an opportunity to someone that is just starting to observe a child that is violent, quote and unquote, and then the child in that condition hits the new staff, and then the person goes off to say, oh, I can't do this again, why would the child hit me, and all that, forgetting that it all comes with the job. It all comes with the job. Whether the child is violent, whether the child is calm, it's your job to help that child. So I mean, we have challenges with staffing, we have financial challenges, obviously. We have financial challenges which would have been the first thing I would have said anyways, because every organization needs as much finances to be able to run, you know, their daily activities. So yeah, we have these challenges, and we hope that one day we'll be able to break through the wall and you know, stand strong as we want to.
When you mentioned staffing and the challenges you face in that area, it occurred to me that maybe organizations that work with people living with one sort of disorder or disability should invest in educating and training special kind of teachers to work with these people, because not everyone has the patience or has the diligence to work with
children. It's totally different from standing in front of the class and teaching other children, teaching a class of 15 or 10 or 20 students. It's totally different. In this case, you have to be on your toes. You have to, it's intense.
Very sensitive.
Yes, it's intense one-to-one. So you need to be sure that, oh, this child, why is this child doing this? What has triggered this behavior? What has triggered this? You know, you have to be, as the therapist or as the tutor, you have to be very sensitive to that.
You're right. Yeah. Sensitive to know triggers, most especially, because really it's always something that triggers them to react the way they react. And like I said, I've experienced one or two of them, and you will see that it's either someone touched them where they didn't want to be touched, or you move them from the direction they didn't want to be at, or something. So there is something.
Yeah. Even something as minute as turning on or off the lights can trigger a child. Yeah, for children with sensory overload or sensory integration dysfunction, something as minute as the fan spinning, yeah, can distract them, can trigger you know, something, and then they start to scream or cry or run away or want to leave that area. You know, so a therapist or a tutor has to be sensitive to know what kind of accommodations am I going to give to this child with autism. What do I have to do? Prepare yourself first before the child comes in, basically.
Okay, so moving on, what are some of the most successful interventions or programs you have implemented for people living with autism in your organization?
The most successful, I would say, would be, or one of the most successful, I would say, would be our community, our specific community interventions or community advocacy. Because you see that when we do that, it gives opportunities to people to say, oh, I know this person, I know this characteristics or this traits that you have mentioned. I know somebody that knows somebody, you know. So the word spreads, and awareness is basically what leads to what opens up people's minds and leads to acceptance. Because if they don't know, they will not be able to accept the children or include the children in what they do. They will not know that, oh, this is not witchcraft. This is a condition that this person is living with. Yeah. So our specific community interventions and advocacy has been one of the things that, you know, has helped the organization. And then our daily intervention are very intense. So it has also helped the children to thrive, to break out, leave the center-based therapy to mainstream, and then flourish from there. Go do whatever they want to do from there.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. So when you introduced yourself, you mentioned something about inclusion for people living with autism and other forms of disorders. So in your experience, how do you think this inclusion or inclusivity can happen for people living with autism and people living with any form of disorders or disabilities? How can this inclusion happen?
Inclusion can happen, from my school of thought, inclusion can happen, or from my experience rather, inclusion happens when there's awareness and acceptance. These two things, because if you don't understand a particular trait from a child, how do you want to include the child in what you're doing? Or how do you want to help that child if you don't understand? So you have to understand and then accept the child. That acceptance is love encompassing. Is love encompassing, because I know that there are some people that would say, oh, I would accept this child just for the sake of making money. But if you really, really look at it, you would see that if you accept a thing, you would do everything. It's like a marriage. If you accept your spouse, the bad, the good, and the ugly, you would try to make amends. You would try to make it work. And that also goes to the child. If you accept this child with autism, if you accept this child with special needs, you will do all that you can within your ability to see that the child thrives. So that's one way that we have tried to help children or individuals with autism. We create awareness. We accept and help the parents accept, or help the society accept this condition that the children or the individuals are living with. And that way they can be included in the society. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So just a few more questions for you before I let you go. Are there any upcoming projects or events that your organization is working on that maybe you would need the support of the public on?
Yeah, World Autism Awareness Month is just by the corner.
Yeah.
And as an organization, we have a couple of activities that have been drawn up. One is, last year what we did was totally different from what we would normally do. We went out for evangelism, talking about autism. In the streets, in the motor parks, like literally everywhere, in markets, So we broke through that, and we want to be able to continue in that line. But this year there's a tweak to it, so we're doing that. A couple of people are doing that. We've shared ourselves. A couple of people are doing that. Other people are doing school advocacy and education, and also hospitals. So we want to be able to cover as much as we can. There's a word that we use at our organization, and it says autism does not start and end on the 2nd of April. Now, 2nd of April is World Autism Awareness Day. But the month of April is World Autism Awareness Month. So you're, as an autism community, you're allowed to do activities any day between 2nd and the last day of April. But we do our activities beyond April.
True.
We do our activities beyond. We don't wait because it's like the past Mother's Day. You're not supposed to wait for a day to celebrate your mother.
Celebrate your mom.
Yeah, you celebrate your mother, you celebrate your father as much as you can every day of your life, because they have given you life. So for us, Autism Awareness goes beyond the 2nd of April. It goes beyond the month of April, and it spreads round. We talk about autism. Is a daily, how would I put it now? It's a daily occurrence for us. Everywhere we go, we talk about autism. Every day we talk about autism, so that we are sure that people understand what we are dealing with and how to also help those people, because persons with autism, adults with autism, are everywhere in the street. So if somebody sees an adult with autism having a meltdown, you would know what to do. So our job does not start and end in April. It goes beyond April. So we basically would need support. Now, not necessarily financial support. If we have that, fine, but we need community support. We need people to come out. If we're on the street, be on the street with us. If we're wherever we need community support, basically.
Okay. All right, great. So, guys, you've heard it, community support, volunteering. If you have skills, you want to volunteer, you want to help to spread the word, you want to donate, please feel free to reach out to Beauty and the team at Blazing Heart Center, so that your voice can count, and you can also touch a life of someone living with autism today. All right, so any final words for any parent that is having to deal with a child living with autism? Any parent that is about to give up? Any parent that is still, struggling with this condition at the moment? Final words.
Final words would be: don't give up. Don't give up. Talk to someone. There's someone that knows someone that knows someone that you can talk to. You can start with one person. Just explain yourself. Just try. Even if you have to cry. But don't give up. Don't give up on your child, because every child is a gift from God. And even if the child has the condition, autism, it's not a death sentence. It's not the end of the world. We have seen. I've worked with a child with autism that is visually impaired. The child learned how to play the keyboard in 2 weeks. And where he is now, he's leading their school choir. He plays for
special like that, actually.
Yes. We have seen children with autism that have gone on to be great artists. And I know of one that his artwork sells even in New York. Don't give up on that child with autism just because you feel that it's the end of the world. It's not the end of the world for the child. There are people that are willing to help. There are people that are willing to hold your hands. There are people that are willing to walk you through the path, through the road. There are people that are willing to stand in the gap for you and your child. Don't give up on that child. Don't give up on yourself also.
Thank you so much. Words of encouragement. So if you're a parent out there, please do not give up. That child is going to be a star. Don't worry. There are stars like that. I know.
So now it's not. We always talk about the good parts. It's not every child that will be a musician. It's not every child that will be an Einstein. It's not every child that will be the world's greatest artist. There are children that will not be able to get to that point, but they would be able to work in shops, in offices, in smaller organizations.
Yeah.
When you see that, encourage the child. Encourage the child. And as a society, let's be inclusive in our minds. Let's be able to create that enabling environment for individuals with autism to thrive even in our small communities, even in our small organizations.
Thank you so much, Beauty. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us, sharing your story, and encouraging parents out there today. It was an amazing session with you. So guys, please do not forget to share this video. Someone, as usual, may be interested in this and want to support time or money to help the foundation. So please do not be stingy, like I would always say. Share this video, subscribe, drop a comment, and feel free to connect. As usual, the contact details are in the description box or on your screen right now. Send an email, make a phone call, and do something to help someone living with autism. See you guys in the next episode.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day.
Bye.